Aftercare After Dark is intended for mature audiences. If you're under the age of 18, we would ask you to leave this broadcast immediately and patiently await your formal invite to the grown folks table. We sometimes discuss topics that can be triggering for some. Please refer to the show's notes for episode-specific trigger warnings and resources. Thank you for listening. Aftercare After Dark is intended for mature audiences. If you're under the age of 18, we would ask you to leave this broadcast immediately and patiently await your formal invite to the grown folks table. We sometimes discuss topics that can be triggering for some. Please refer to the show's notes for episode-specific trigger warnings and resources. Thank you for listening.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Aftercare After Dark. My name is Miss G.
And I'm Yolanda. We're two sisters helping each other navigate these kink streets. Aftercare is time spent communicating and taking care of your partner after sex and or play. But who does this vital work when you're single? We are here for each other and those of you who are also exploring. Bumble has broken the internet. Did you see this?
It's a marketing tactic. It's a way to gain traction again because Bumble was super popular 3-4 years ago.
I want to say 5 years ago because I signed up for Bumble. I didn't like it.
It's been so long. I don't remember why I didn't like Bumble. It was just I just don't like dating apps in general.
Well, we're all there. We're all there now. This is the revolution. We are done with the dating app.
Yeah, I've just kind of I'm on Facebook dating. I need to delete it because it's vanilla. That's where all the straights are, and I hate it there.
I'm annoyed at Hinge. You know that. I'm annoyed at Hinge. Okay, Cupid has some of the menagerie, but the brokies are there.
Bumble, okay, Cupid, Hinge, not so much. What is it? Grindr, Tinder. The idea was to be dating apps, but people primarily use them as hookup apps. Field has lost its shine for me.
Because I think somebody, and I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it on TikTok. I'm looking for it on Instagram, whether or not one of these dating gurus instructed everybody to just leave their pictures up and not say anything because it is a trend. People are not filling out profiles anymore. And the funny thing is I'm thinking of deleting all the words I have. It's a good piece of writing. And I've been given feedback. This is an A+. This is a gold star profile. And it's not particularly long, but it says what it needs to say, right? And I'm thinking of deleting all of those lovely words and just putting in is mean and sophisticated. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. I'm mean and sophisticated. I like nice things.
I hate
and I'm kind of rude.
I'm just burnt out. I'm burnt out. That's all. We started this whole thing December talking about the dating apps. It's May. We didn't even make it to halfway through the year.
No, okay. So I told myself this project, Yolanda dating Yolanda on the market, was going to be a year. I was going to stay at it for a year. Okay, I've got 2 months left. I have to make it through May, June, and July. Okay, 3 months. Well, 2.5, right? We're in the middle of May right now. I gotta make it. I can't. I'm a goal-oriented person. And we have to make it. But it is a slog and a struggle. So Bumble went and deleted the feature that made it possible for women to kind of make their own choices, right? That was the appeal of it. And now the men's are going to subscribe because it's in the news and everybody's talking about it. I think 2 types of people are going to go ahead and pay for Bumble now. The men's is because they can reach out and harass us. Not us, because I'm not on Bumble, but they can go ahead and harass the female as much as they possibly want. It's going to become like every other app out there.
There's nothing unique about Bumble to me.
Well, it used to be. It used to be we made the first move, except I know my personality type. And I know
Wait, that's Bumble? I thought that was Hinge.
No, Bumble's whole thing was that it was Marxist feminism. It was supposed to be we get to make our own choices. Women make the first move in Bumble. That was the whole reason for having Bumble. No one was going to be in your DMs. No one was going to hit you up. You weren't going to get all of these messages. You were going to make these selections for yourself. That's why it's in the news. That's why. So when men are now allowed to engage with women, what is the point? It was supposed to be for the woman who was taking charge, like the woman that was at least making the first move. Now, I know that didn't work out for me because I signed up for Bumble when it was brand new because I liked the concept. I was like, oh, I like this. I'm not going to be bombarded with the nonsense. I'm going to be selective, picking and choosy as I am, good and persnickety as I can be. That's what we were going to do. Instead, the like 3 or 4 Bumble dates that I did go on, the men on Bumble at that time were of the ilk to put the onus of the relationship on me. Now, I don't know if Bumble has, I've never heard anybody's success story from Bumble. Like we got married and we met on Bumble. I've never heard that. Tinder, yes. Hinge, yes. Even Field, I think people have, in my short stint on Field, I have encountered people who have long relationships and they met on that particular app, right? And it's a brand new app. It's like two years long. I've never heard this about Bumble. And it's because the onus for the relationship becomes us. So like we are in charge of the entire relationship from making that initial move, which means we're doing all of the emotional labor and then the labor, all of the things, all of the things at that time. So like when Bumble was brand new, I was attracting the type of person that did not want to take any responsibility for their end of the relationship. This is just more work. I don't want to do this, and promptly got off of it.
The funny part is the men feel like that. The men feel that way because like they don't want to plan. They don't want to initiate. They don't want to lead. And I'm very much a mirror, right? Because like if I have to lead, then I'd rather date a woman. If I have to make all these plans and XYZ, I'd rather date a fucking woman.
Okay, so in my limited experience of dating women, we've met each other halfway, which I'm willing to do. In a relationship, I'm willing to do that. Meet halfway. Like one person is responsible for the activity and the other person's responsible for figuring out where we're going to eat. The decision making process is something that is shared, right? And it's something that I have a huge problem with. Making decisions is very, very difficult for me. I have meltdowns over choice fatigue, right? It's something that I've worked on. It's something that even in this dating journey, I have kept a log of, well, if I meet the outdoorsy people, like we can go here, we can go here, we can go here, we can go here, because I've been here long enough to do that. If you're coming my way, we can eat here, we can eat here, we can eat here, we can eat there. And I have a running tally of places that I enjoy. And if I enjoy it, then I know other people are going to enjoy it because I'm picky. So I've gotten really good at alleviating some of that stress in the early courtship. If you're coming to me, then I have spaces for us to go. And that came out of the genesis of your haunt, your karaoke. That's where that came from, like that karaoke suggestion. I don't have a haunt yet. I haven't been here long enough to be like, this is the spot where I'm going to be repeatedly. I might have found it though. It depends. In lieu of that, I said, okay, how can I closely approximate that experience? And therefore, it doesn't become, I get impatient and I write this person off saying if they can't come up with something. I have a list of options and therefore meet me halfway on what we're going to do. I don't mind having some of that responsibility because I date both women and men and figuring out what my temperament is. That's not my issue. And we're talking about men, none of them wanting to do any of the work. We want to complain. We want to listen to men with microphones. We want to listen to unattached men give dating advice on how to trick women. That's what all these pickup artists are. And they're still out here. They're just on different platforms, right? We don't want to try. We don't want to try and fix it for ourselves.
I feel like I've had some decent experiences with both sides of the extremes. The men who don't want to think and don't want to make decisions and don't know how to make decisions and don't know how to plan, don't know how to do any of the mental, emotional labor of planning for a date and all those things. And then I have the complete opposite of the ones who want me to come to them, who want me to meet them in their neighborhoods, who want me to meet them in their comfort zones.
Are they fancy neighborhoods?
Yes. I've talked to probably 2 or 3 gentlemen who like wanted me to come to their area, and it happens to be a very nice part of town, but I'm like, I live an hour away. We can meet halfway for the first date. I'm not coming. I'm not doing this. I'm not driving an hour to meet you there. Like we're going to meet halfway. And then it's going to be like vice versa, right? Sometimes you come to me, sometimes I come come to you, sometimes we meet halfway. But this idea of me going out of my way to accommodate you, like, I need to see a little bit of give from both sides too. Meet me in the middle, and then we can go from there. So I have off put some men who just were like rigid. And I get it. And I'm like, listen, I get it. But if you want me to show up to this date, this is my requirement. Because if I have to drive an hour after I've been on the road for 2.5 hours, I'm going to cancel on you. I will cancel on you. And if you can't understand that and you can't sympathize and empathize with that, then like, bye. Like, I can be just as rigid too. You know what I'm saying? It's a different way. I'm just, I'm tired.
I'm tired too. But I'm also chasing an experience that I had. I realized what I like, what I really, really like. And this whole thing has been, I had these 3 long-term relationships. By the time I was 34, they were all over and done with, and then nothing, all the way up until 8 months ago. Long stints of celibacy. I would go on my vacation, oil change. That's the way I thought of sex. You just have to do maintenance once a year, once every 2 years if you're feeling stingy, and then move on. I've never made a concentrated effort to change my single status. I've never dated. This is my first time ever dating, looking for courtship, looking to develop a relationship.
The art of courtship is not a thing. I get a lot of, what are your intentions for me? Like, I don't know you. What are your intentions for me? I'm like, my only intentions is to get to know you. I don't know you. I have no intentions for you. So it's like, you're trying to get me to commit to this path, and it's always sexual, always sexual. Somebody had the audacity to come at me, and I sent you the screenshot. Oh, how do you feel about starting off as casual friends with benefits? After I had like
my guy?
my bio specifically in there was like looking for genuine friendships and authentic connections. How is it that you see that and then you come at me with a, how do you feel like pursuing a casual friends with benefits? I don't know you. If your goal of being friends is solely for the benefits, you're not a friend. You're using people. And if that's the goal, then find somebody who's doing the same thing or go to these spaces.
That's the thing. It's never, and I think this is where the disconnect is. People don't know what they really want. They really don't know what they want. Because I think I had a conversation with someone who asked me about casual, and this was way back in the beginning when I was having longer conversations with people. I was entertaining it because I didn't know, right? And it was like, I'm casual NSA. I was like, can I show up in sweats then? Can I just roll out of bed? Do I have to take a shower? Like all of these things, right?
Do I have to take a shower? Do I have to shave?
Like, I know, right? Casual, right? Casual me rolls out of bed and like takes care of my business and has my coffee and takes a shower and gets ready for my day as I see fit because I work from home. Casual me is, I mean, not too rough, but like rough enough.
Casual is bare minimum.
Without taking a shower? I mean, some people are into that. How casual are we talking? So no, they don't want casual. They do want you to put the effort. They want to, 1, be seen with you. We've talked about this. And 2, appreciate the fact that you get attention because you've put yourself together in a certain way, right? So they want that.
And they want sex. Knowing that women get emotionally attached. Like, I want a consistent casual friends with benefits. Consistently having sex with a woman or someone, because men do the same shit, will eventually lead to an emotional attachment. But this idea of, let me use you for my emotional needs, for my sexual needs, let me lean on you for emotional support, but don't catch feelings for me.
They want you to catch feelings too. They just don't want you to call it that because they don't want the responsibility. They want all of the benefits, but they don't want the responsibility of caring about your well-being, keeping track of your
hard conversations,
having hard conversations, accountability. They don't want any of that. They want all of the other stuff. They want the lovely stuff. They want the good stuff. They want the easy
They want
stuff.
the desire. They want the joy. They want the excitement. They want the lust. But they don't want to deal with jealousy. They don't want to deal with insecurity. They don't want to deal with like sadness or anger. These are emotions.
They want all of the things that are positive about a relationship without any of the things, and back to the beginning of this conversation, work. Oh, so leading into something else that broke the internet, this dream date. This dream date.
Is that going around?
Yeah. In the group chat that Yolanda has in the group chat. It has come up in 1, 2, 3 of my group chats. We're not a group chat, but like there's enough of us for a group chat, right?
You really want to knock a woman's socks off and have her like just crazy about you? You want to do these 3 stops. Come on, baby, we going on a date. Where we going? You want to take her grocery shopping. Number 1, let me give you the game about grocery shopping.
Talk to me.
When a woman go grocery shopping, when you get in there, you're going to get 2 carts, say, baby, go crazy. Now, you can take her on a date, spend $300-$400. That's nothing. Mm-hmm. But by the time she leave the Coles with the seafood and all that, she already $300-$400 in. The crab meat, the lobster, all that stuff she getting. Yeah. You know how y'all go. The filet, bang, you got that.
Yeah.
Then she got to go get her beefs and all that stuff. Her beefs, her poultries and chickens. That's going to take you up another 200. So you got like 6 damn near 4. Right? Bro. Then you got the joint. You can tell her go crazy. She got kids or something. She got to get the zooms and wham-whams and snaps and juicy juices.
Get all the Fruit Loops. Get all the Fruit Loops.
Go crazy, baby. Then when y'all leave there, guess what? Put everything in the car, your bag, everything. So now y'all just spent the damn near 2 hours in the grocery. Y'all talking, getting to know each other. You pulling her hair behind her ear. You look so good, kissing on the face.
Golly, love.
Look at you, girl. You got to be affectionate. Grab her, squeeze her. When you might be in line or you might be standing there, she might be waiting on the joint. You stand behind her, grab her ass, kiss on her. You got to be crazy. So now it depends on how you doing it, how close. You just give her the Amex when she get to the register. Babe, let me take this. I got to do this. Let me go grab that. She's like, oh my God, he didn't give me the card. She feel all good. That shit like, golly. It's damn near at 1,000, whatever, bet. You put everything in the car. Usually where a grocery store at across the street is a gas station. Mm-hmm. Take over there, fill a tank, 93. Fill it up, 93.
Mm-hmm. Don't matter what she drives.
Then I don't care what she drives.
93.
You got to change that whole system because what you're doing is you got to deprogram in order to reprogram. So peep game. Then after that, you take it to a woman's playground. You take it to Target. Take it there, go crazy. See, if you don't put the go crazy on there, she ain't gonna understand like this dude ain't playing. That's a nice date because y'all talking, y'all got to spend time. Yeah. And guess what? When you leave, she cooking that salmon with that rice or whatever she cooking, she thinking about you. Because that whole freezer got your name all over it. All that stuff she got in there, the bed.
She get a car the next day. When she go 93, it's all in the top.
Listen, when she go to spray that lemon flavored chloride over the joint, she you bought that.
Now, I would say to even be in the grocery store, that's brag worthy. Girl, he took me. He was in the grocery store.
She gonna tell her girlfriend. You know what she gonna tell her girlfriend? Yeah. Girlfriend, you ain't gonna believe this. He took me in there and guess what he told me? What did he tell you? He said, go crazy. He took you to Target. What did he say? As soon as he went in there, he grabbed 2 cards. He said, go crazy. I'm telling you.
But grocery store, gas,
No. You're not finished.
Oh.
That's why you got to do it early. After you leave Target, you know where you're going? Taking it to get that car detailed.
Yeah, this is the most practical ill date ever.
You can't run into one woman that been on a date like that. Because I'm telling you, they never, that's 4 stops, bro.
The men about to be mad at you in the comments.
Listen, that's 4. No, they not. Because listen, if you gonna go to Chanel and buy a bag, if you buying a real one, you 5,000 in.
5 in.
You can buy a little small one, 3,000 in. That's the same price point. It's lesser than that. That whole go crazy package right there, that's under 2,500.
The go crazy package.
The go crazy
package.
Go
crazy package.
The GCP.
The go crazy.
GCP.
The GCP.
Bro, do that for your wife and watch what she do.
The go crazy date. The go crazy date has snatched my soul. It has snatched my soul because there's the surface of it, right? Go to the grocery store, fill up carts with how many hundreds of dollars of groceries, come back, go to Target as the fancy call it, fill up your carts, do what you're going to do, right? And then go crazy, right? And then the finale, and I want to switch this out because my dream date is something a little bit different. That's the go crazy date. This shouldn't be a first date. I think this should be I really like you and I want to foment this relationship date. I don't know. I think that might actually get me because it hits so many of my needs. I've been asked on occasion what attracts me to another human being. And this goes back to, we're going to call him CO, right? So I met this individual in real life. We did not meet on an app at one of these munches. So we connected and he wanted to try friends with benefits. And I said, well, if we do friends with benefits, it has to benefit me material in some kind of way. I have needs that are not in the emotional realm in a sexual partner that I need taken care of if we are going to be friends. And I need to get to know you. I need to like you in order to do that as well. So I need us to be friends and to have benefits. That's how that works for me. This individual CO kept pushing for the sexual part of our relationship to take off. And I was not having it. I was not having it because I didn't see any benefit in it. We talked, we went on a couple of dates, we did a lot of texting, we did some sexting. It wasn't progressing to his satisfaction. And he asked me why. And I said, okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you just want to have sex with me, or do you want me to want to have sex with you? And he came back with, I want you to want to have sex with me. His previous relationships, he felt like he was begging. It was something that he did not want to do in a relationship going forward. He wanted his partner to desire him. And I said, well, that connection for me doesn't happen unless certain conditions are met. He's like, what do you mean? And I said, solve a problem for me. So that go crazy date solves a problem for me. I needed
my needs.
Right? Like, solve a problem for me. Teach me something I don't know. Dazzle me with that brain of yours. It's okay. And then, like, all of the other things. Tell me I'm pretty and all of that, whatever. The go crazy date, it hits so many things because I have a hard time going grocery shopping. I have videos. M can testify to this. Me leaving full shopping carts places because I can't manage standing in line. It's a thing. I also suffer from choice fatigue. I have a hard time making choices. If I have somebody with me, that becomes easier. Also, you get to, like, you get to know a lot about a person through the choices they make about food, right? That's a cultural thing. So we are joining in a cultural thing. Bottom of the ocean, Yolanda, got very deep on this grocery store thing. Like, I love this. It's kind of a fantasy date for me. Going to Target, same kind of thing. I would probably spend a lot of time in the furniture aisle. That's what I would do because, like, I have a hard time picking objects that I can put anything together. I'm extremely handy. So, like, flat pack IKEA queen, like, I can build anything and put it in a configuration. Making those choices for myself is difficult if I don't have free reign to, like, go crazy. Right? To go crazy. So, like, I can build a room and make it something that you could look at from a magazine. That's my dream for this house, is to have it magazine photo ready. I can do that from Target, but I can't give myself permission to do that for myself. It's a weird thing. But if you gave me your card and told me to go crazy.
Yeah, it's those of us who grew up in poverty. Financial insecurity is always going to be ingrained in us in some form or fashion, no matter how financially stable we get.
And I'm stable. I have a sexy, and I mean a sexy credit score.
And I'm still the same way. Like, I'm very happy with where I'm at, to where this came up in a date a couple times. I'm like, I'm not financially free yet, but I'm financially okay. So I can go and splurge on it without checking my bank account, without having to worry if I'm going to make my rent next month. And for people like us to be able to be here on our own backs, off the labor of our own backs, like, we worked really, really hard to be here. But at the same time, we can only afford to go crazy.
Exactly.
We can only afford to go crazy at a certain extent. There's a ceiling to that.
It's not even a ceiling. It's more like I have a hard time letting myself luxuriate. There are things, physical things like my massages and my float, that I know will make me feel better. But I have a hard time because I used to worry about where the next meal came from. And so, like, I hoard, I save. And I do not know how to go crazy in a store, even though and so if somebody takes that pressure off me and says, I got you, I will impress you with going crazy. It is a marker of my personality to create things, whether it be a story or a machine or anything. It's the engineer, right? And so, like, someone else giving me permission to go crazy so I don't have to worry about it, because I still have a budget. I ain't balling like that. Like, I still have a budget. I have to put constraints on myself. But if I have extra, my tendency is to put it away rather than do the thing that my heart desires, to build something, to create something, to do something crazy. So that's part 2 of the day.
I liked the fact that he was using that vocabulary, because everywhere else, the vernacular of crazy in association with women has always been a derogatory, crazy woman. And so to have this gentleman on air basically saying, we're crazy, that's sexy. It was hot. is attractive.
Go further on this. Go further on this because we talked about this historically speaking. The
Well,
emotion
it's
of crazy being turned from a negative to a positive thing.
to something desirable, to something that the man, that this particular man who was saying this, like he wanted that. In the way, it's like empowering, it's freeing, it's validating, it's sexy. It's sexy. It was sexy to hear this man say, go crazy. Everybody uses that crazy trope, the crazy woman trope, as a way to fucking like diminish our emotions, deflect from issues, put problems back onto us, shift blame back onto us, and like that. And even the way he opened it, the way he started, like, you want a woman to go crazy over you? This is how you do it. You know, okay? Crazy is great. People like crazy as long as it's like lust crazy, love crazy. But don't you dare to be like angry crazy or like jealous crazy or insecure crazy. You know? That's where I'm getting at that. I'm like, yo. Yeah. But this gentleman was like, I'm not afraid of that. I want that. Go crazy. Go do the things. I'm just over here like, where are the sisters? A lot of the men that I've seen on the internet, especially on these bro podcasts talking about materialistic women. I think it was also debunked. The guy who was complaining about this got called out for being on a sugar daddy website. I was like,
I saw that too.
so complaining that you can't find wife material, that women are materialistic, and yet you purposely put yourself on a sugar daddy website, seeking out these connections and seeking out these kinds of women who want that. And I'm just over here like, how about the women who just want to hire somebody to do a deep cleaning? Like, I just want somebody to do a full landscaping job. I want to spend your money to replace my roof. You know what I'm saying?
So me, like, if you have that particular skill, take me out on the roof with you. Teach me how to do that.
I don't want a
how to do that.
Lamborghini. I don't want no fancy car. I could care less about purses.
Oh, I like my
Hey,
purse.
my taste is a little weird. I'm very practical. I'm very sensible. Like, again, like luxuriate. I don't have that. It's never been a thing for me. It's only just now recently, like baby steps, all baby steps. Nails done. First time I've ever had my nails done was 2022 in my whole entire life. So that kind of luxury is relatively new to me. And I'm not just wired that way. You know, I'm only just now recently starting to be okay with those kinds of luxury things. But like, go get my fucking car detailed. Like that's
So
where
I would switch out the end. Again, solve a problem. If I go and get my oil changed one more time, if I get my oil changed one more time and they come back to me with that filter that I ordered off of Amazon and put in there like 5 seconds ago, talking about how dirty it is, and they want to charge me $70 for something that costs $15 from Amazon. I just changed that out, my guy. I know how to change it. Okay. I changed that out, my guy. You are not going to charge me for something that I can fix myself. You're not going to do that. But always, oh, we put the car on the computer and you need like $2,000 worth of work done. Change my oil and leave me alone. Get out of my face. There's nothing wrong with my car.
I didn't ask for that.
If something's wrong with my car, you know what happens? A light comes on. And Susan, Susan, my car. Okay. I've had her on the road. She has crossed the country 5 times. I have kept up with the maintenance. I go and get my oil changed at 7,500 miles every time. It used to be 10,000 miles before she hit 100,000. I've changed out my spark plugs. I take care of her. She's well maintained. I just got new tires. So I know all of the things to keep her on the road. She's going to make it to 200,000 miles, no problem, because I have taken good care of her. Okay. Come at me with, some obscure thing that's wrong with my car that needs a fixing right now, or threaten me with, you're going to have a breakdown in 5 minutes. These dudes, and it's always a dude, at these oil change places, battery change places. Well, I have AAA, so like I can get a discount on that and I don't have to worry about that anymore. But always trying to scam and wonder why we are disgusted. We are all disgusted. Do not tell me that your computer told me I need a repair that I do not need. So if you can be my beard, because they don't come at the men with this nonsense. They never do. They never do. Or if they do, it's an older dude and they're trying to take advantage in a different type of way. But like age appropriate dude shows up with me at a dealership, they're not going to come out with some nonsense about how I need to spend more on my car than I paid for it. every time, every time. So that go crazy date, it speaks to me in so many ways. And it has nothing to do with how much you spend. Did I talk about money at all in that? I talked about my feelings, my emotions about in the world, what I need from a partner,
Yeah.
someone who's going to enhance my life, who's going to make things
That's
better for me.
and that's very much like
Easier.
the whole goes back into the whole like, oh, what's a man's job? To protect and provide. I was like, that's how you make me feel safe. That's how you make me feel safe. Oh, crazy. Okay, cool. Happily, happily. These bros out here bitching and moaning about the fucking women with Louis Vuitton bags and shit like that. You're just mad because that's unattainable and unsustainable for you.
And again, that has nothing to do about the woman who's carrying that bag. It's one, the way that she got it, because you can't put out like that, right? And then two, it's about not being the dude that can provide in that way. And so instead of hating the game, you're hating the player all the time. They look up to the billionaires. They look up to those who hustled their way to the top. They have this grind mentality, even though a lot of those grinders, especially the pretty ones, grew up with trust funds, but we won't talk about that. Or are a whole lie. They don't have a bag. They're just pretending to have one until they get one, right? Tell me who your favorite superhero is, and I'll tell you what kind of trash you are. They look up to Batman, the billionaire who has the ladies who have a lot of materialistic things on them. They look up to these dudes. They want to be part of that culture. They aren't. And who do they take that out on? Us, for liking nice things.
At the risk of being a pick-me, because like I work with all sorts of people, and I've encountered these kinds of women, the financially irresponsible ones. I've encountered the emotionally reactive ones. So I've encountered these women, and it's like anytime a woman expresses her experiences on the internet about being used by a man, being cheated on by a man, XYZ, the common response you see now is you choose better. And so like the same rings true for the opposite. When you're like pissed off she doesn't give oral, you get mad that she spends all your money. They show you these things. You still chose to get that thing pregnant. It's not something that they hide from you. We can say the same thing. Love yourself, value yourself, know yourself, raise your standards, choose better.
But also in defense of, and I understand people are trash, right? So like it's not a woman thing and it's not a male thing or whatever. But I have learned to listen and observe at the same time, because the same dude that says that a woman broke him, a woman took all of his money, a woman led him to financial ruin. He has to pay this in child support. He has to pay this in alimony. Woe is me, right? And this is why you're not getting the best. I'm not in a good place right now because I'm 3 years out from this divorce and I'm still paying for marrying someone who is financially irresponsible. That same individual will have a collection of Magic the Gathering cards worth $50,000. Will spend
Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Pokemon cards
Well,
worth how much was it? Upwards of 70 grand? Some shit like that. Some crazy shit like that.
yes, will also spend money on the latest and greatest sound bar, TV. I use things until they break. Hey, I want to drive my car until the wheels fall off. You are complaining that you ain't got it. You ain't got it right now. And some woman is at the end of the tail of, whoa, and I'm looking around. I've gotten to know you like well enough to say, okay, sure, a woman broke you.
I just got done watching a video and it was annoying. And it just kind of goes back into the whole people are out here in the dating game using other people to fill some sort of fucking deficit and void in their life. And they get mad when their needs aren't met and shit like that. So it was a gentleman was going outside taking the trash out. He saw a lady. I didn't know what the context was. Basically, it's like, what are you looking for in a man? And she came over with, oh, he's got to have his own crib, not an apartment, have a nice car. He lived by himself in his apartment. He had a car. It was paid off. What else? Make 6 figures, yada, yada, like all these things. And then he asked her, I was like, okay, so where do you live? You're putting me down for living in the exact same apartment building you're living in. Do you live by yourself? No, I live with my mom. Do you make six figures? No, I work at Walmart. It's just this repeating cycle. Boys are learning from their dads and they're learning from their uncles and they're learning from their friends to be like cheating little bastards and like lie and cheat their way into getting what they want. And like girls are learning from their broken mothers and their angry mothers that men are just walking ATMs. And then there's people like us who are just like doing what we got to do to be good
Can
people.
we meet at the middle? Like, seriously. And I've done so much work.
I just want somebody who is stable, who doesn't need me, who just wants to share things with me, who wants to treat me and spoil me the way that I deserve because I'm going to be doing the exact same thing. Where does that leave us, the good women and the good men?
Listen, I realize I've been barking up the wrong tree my whole entire life. I have been barking up the wrong tree my whole entire life. The default, well, we should do a whole show about default heterosexual normalcy, right? I realize that, and I still maintain my status. I am demisexual. Like, I can't just, animal attraction is not a thing for me. I do need to get to know you. I do need to connect with you on a level that is beyond the physical. Also, gray sexual, and this is where I'm finding myself in trouble with. I'm not going to find what I want on the apps, and I'm not going to find what I want in community. I've tried both, right? What I want, what I need, and what I desire is a niche thing. It's a niche thing, and I'm going to have to like Thanos my way to it. I'm gonna have to do it myself. I'm gonna have to build something that is outside the normal because it's somewhere between kink. Well, it's extremely kinky. Never mind. Never mind. It's extremely kinky, but it's not kink that develops naturally. And you know what? This is for the audience. This is for the audience. Tell me where the specialists go because I realize that I'm a specialist. I'm not giving out the information. I told you that's not for the streets. That is not for the streets yet. What I do is coveted. It's something that people want. It's something that I like as well. So where do I go to find? Because it's not on these apps. I know it's not on these apps. And it's really not in my local scene. It's not in my community at all because that is very heteronormative. Like all men are doms, all women are subs. Some people are switchy. And I am something entirely outside of all of that. Even in my supposed in-group, I'm an outlier. And so I need to go and congregate with those that have my temperament and those who seek my temperament.
Can we say something about, I'm going to say men, because again, these are the ones who are approaching us. These are the ones who are like soliciting us. These are the ones who are coming at us. Can we talk about these men out here chasing after, approaching, and seeking out strong, independent women, and then not wanting to do anything to provide for our needs?
We talk about them wanting to like change that. That's what you were attracted to. That's what made you sit up and say, oh, wait, we've been out a few times. We've done this, we've done that,
yes,
we've done
they're attracted to the idea of a strong, independent woman until they run into her boundaries. Until they run into her requirements.
And that's what it is, and I've done a lot of reading and work about this, right? Boundaries are for yourself. That's an internal thing. You can let somebody know what your boundaries are, but that's for you. You know where the line is. You know where it's gray, you know where it's firm, black, and you know where it's white, all of that, right? You know that for yourself. You might tell someone they have crossed the boundary with you, but there's also the rule book. And everybody has one, even the men's.
They just don't know what it is. They just don't know what it is until they run into my rules and they realize, oh, I don't like this.
I realize, so for BDSM, right, the 3 parts of play, right? There's negotiation, there's the scene, and then there's the aftercare. And some people will do anything to get to their aftercare, right? That's their thing. That's the thing that gives them whatever. There are people who love the scene and do the other 2 components as they are needed. Me, I'm here for the negotiation. I love the negotiation. That starts me going. Scene is great. But the negotiation, the coming to terms, and it is a negotiation. This is going to happen. This isn't going to happen. These are the rules, and we're going to abide by it. We make a contract, and then we go forth and be merry, very merry on both parts. I like that. I love all 3 components. And I'm not saying that you can throw one out in that whole thing. I'm just saying there's one that I like more than anything else like that, and it's negotiation. I do. I do love myself to negotiation. And this is why I'm lonely. This is why I'm lonely. Define terms. I need to know.
Mhm.
Like before I go into anything, I don't like surprises.
Yeah.
I don't like
And it's the
surprises.
same thing. These people are attracted to the idea of a strong, independent woman because in their minds, they don't need to meet our needs. In their minds, we don't have wants and we don't have needs. We're self-sufficient. We're self-sufficient because every single one who's approached me and who has complimented for that, and I've had 4 gentlemen, they were all subs, incredibly emotionally needy. I'm not that for you. I'm only like that with the people I'm in a relationship with. So if we don't share a relationship, I will not be that for you. I'm not that for you.
You're talking about romantic partnership because you have a relationship with yourself.
Yes and no.
Like I have a relationship with my
formal-
mailman who I say hi to.
There's having a relationship and being in a relationship. So to me, like a DS, formal DS dynamic is the relationship, right? Friendship is a relationship. Having a connection is a relationship. Again, the experiences that I've had with these subby men, they've been very emotional needy. And my thing is like, I'm not going to be that for you. If that's what you want, come over, cut my grass, and we can talk about it. That's just how that works. But like, do not hit me up at 11 p.m. and dump your stuff on me. Let's schedule a time to get on Zoom and get it all out. But I'm not going to be available to you willy-nilly because I've got responsibilities and stuff like that. And they don't like it.
And see, for me, this is why negotiation is so important because I can tell if we are not meeting on essential points. And you saw the text. You saw the text. I was like, I have to say goodbye because you haven't answered my question. This is a need of mine. It needs to be this way when we are together. Otherwise, I am not interested. And 17 paragraphs later and a lot of flowery words, you have not answered the question. We have been in chat for entirely too long. Like if I have to say the same thing in 10 different ways, and I made it super simple in that conversation, I made it super simple that sex will never be spontaneous with me. Between you and me, that
they don't like
never going to happen. And that was my line and stuck with it. Very long paragraphs. And when I said goodbye, of course, couldn't leave it at that. We're not going to get along if I have to do this much on a very salient point. It's important to me. It is my value. You cannot pass go with me if you don't understand that. And the response to me saying goodbye is, oh, we could have agreed to that a long time ago. And I was like, boy, bye. Boy, bye.
I had a recent conversation with a gentleman who asked me, because I had a picture up with me holding a whip. I was like, are you some sort of dominatrix? So I was like, well, I moonlight as one on occasion. And then he immediately came back with, I'm not submissive, blah, da, 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 da. I was like, I never asked you if you were. You asked me if I did this and I confirmed yes. But at no point have I ever asked you or expressed any interest if that is what I'm interested in. You project it onto me. I never said I was interested in doing that with you. Go back and read that again. I was like, okay, bye. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not. That's labor. I'm not going to sit here and tell you why you're a problem. I've done that. All it does is just fuels their ire and they come back with freaking more dismissive responses.
You know, my thing is, and so I need at the end of this year, we're going to do a tally. I've had to say goodbye to both sexes. It is always super unpleasant with the dudes. It's not even super unpleasant. It's I said what I said. I haven't ghosted. I have not ghosted anyone. If we have conflict and we cannot resolve it for whatever particular reason, there's a time to say goodbye. So at any point, I haven't left anybody unread, just said, hey, I don't think this is working. And this is the reason why. And it was nice meeting you and good luck. Polite, right? Polite. Even if I'm heated, I mean heated. Doing this, not doing this, can't even. In my words, and that's my final action. I'm very pleasant and I say goodbye. Can we leave it at that? No, these men have to give you your okay.
And I've already, I had to tell you to stop doing that because I think at one point you either did or you thought about it. But like somebody comes up, can I ask why? And I told you immediately, like, don't.
But I did give my reasons why. I did.
Don't, because they're not interested in why. They're just interested in dismissing your responses. And putting it back on you and blaming you for overthinking and overreading. It's not that deep.
The thing is like, you've read my text. I'm pragmatic and direct. Okay, so there's very, very few things that can be misunderstood about my communication style. I am direct. So like when they come back with, why didn't you, and blah, 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 and like the vomit for any other practical word about why are you rejecting me? I'm like, I said what I said. I don't know of any other way of really saying it. I've worked in communications my whole life. Regardless of what my job title is, I've had to communicate effectively and in a lot of male dominated fields. My communication style does not drift for that reason. Listen, I expressed the need, want, desire, whatever it was. It was not met for whatever particular reason. This is the reason why.
What more elaboration and explanation do you need? We're not a good fit. We are not aligned. Our
But we can't
values.
take that. We can't take no for an answer. We really, really can't. We have to keep going.
May I ask why? You can ask. I'm not going to answer.
I will. Listen, I'll entertain some nonsense. You know,
As depends on the person. If we had some sort of ongoing thing and we had like a genuine chemistry and genuine connection, let's get on a Zoom call. This is not a conversation I'm having over text.
That's true. But this was a person that didn't make it. Well, we actually had a Zoom chat. We had a Zoom date. We never met in person because we could not come to terms on what that would look like. And this individual was big mad. Big mad. Listen, like, it was nice. We spent a couple hours. The Zoom was 45 minutes, but we spent with the texting. We're not going to be a thing. The more paragraphs, and then 2 days later, I would have done what you wanted anyway. No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have. You were trying to
move you off your mark.
Move me off my mark every time. Every time.
Yeah. Suddenly they come chasing right back.
Yeah, like, I don't have time for that. And that's the thing. People are like, oh, them coming back is not the flex you think it is. Them coming back and you leaving them there, leaving them unread, that is a flex. I don't care what anybody says. Now, if they come back and you allow them to treat you, I've seen that meme run around. If you allow them to treat you in the way that put you off in the first place, they come back and they're still on that BS. Like,
if you come back with a sincere apology, I'll consider it.
But it's not even sincere apology, because apologies. So when people say that, and this is something, I have friends and we've talked about the love language thing, and words will never do it. Words will never do it for me, because that's background, right? Because people say a thing and then they do something opposite. And that was very confusing for me growing up. It's still confusing at my big age. It's still confusing to me. So like, for me, it is, you apologize and you've changed. The apology doesn't mean anything if you do not change the behavior.
An apology without changed behavior is insincere.
Right.
So that's like, a sincere apology is accountability, owning what you did, how your actions affected somebody else, and then like reparations, path up, moving forward. That's sincere. But like apology for the sake of apologizing just to appease things, that's not sincere.
No.
We never talked about my dream date.
Oh yeah, what is your dream date?
An adventure. I want to go deep sea fishing. Take me clamming. Take me digging for clams. Take me hunting. Let's go catch food.
Listen. Well, that's not me. I don't want to catch the food. The funny thing is, though, if somebody invited me along on a hunt, I will go, because teach me something I don't know, right? So like, I would love to learn how to field dress an animal. Do I want that to be my responsibility? No. Mm-hmm. But like, that's a useful thing to know how to do. If that's the date. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my dream date. Take me deep sea fishing. Take me hunting. Take me like digging for clams or whatever. And then like, let's go clean our catch and then like barbecue it on the beach or somewhere, but like somewhere outside, somewhere with views, and then catch food and make food.
Hey,
that's my dream date.
That's us for tonight, because we are running over. That's us for tonight. What I want to know from people, what do you think about the Bumble thing? For someone who was on the app for a hot second and was just kind of like, I don't like it, and left it where it was, I find it interesting. Are we still on Bumble? Are we still doing that? The second thing, what is your dream date? What is your dream date? What is your go crazy date? Or you could just let us know how you're doing in general, because we want to know. Like, I would love to hear from, especially the she's, the theys, and the gays, what's going on in the dating street.
Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. We'll see you next time. Good night.